Welcome to Real Dudes Podcast. I'm your host, Karrington, and I'm going to apologize. So this interview technically happened 2 years ago. It is on the channel and audio version only. But Carrington, what are you doing right now if you've already released the interview? Well, let me tell you something. I have the video version. I've had it for the past 2 years. Valerie was a great guest, and she was amazing, and she's gone on to have a fantastic career, still skyrocketing, by the way. If you haven't checked her out, I highly recommend it, especially about my Edith Finch, which is the game she was in, which is why we had her on in the first place. And she does a fantastic job in that. So if you haven't played that game, I would highly, highly check it out. So here's the thing. I've been sitting on this video version of this interview for 2 years. So back then, when I originally recorded the interview, when I was trying to import it into the video software I used to edit, for some reason it would always not recognize the video file, or the video file would be corrupted. But when I would play the video itself, the original video, it would come up just fine. So why it would crash constantly, I don't know. So I thought about converting it several times, and for whatever reason, that didn't work either. And for whatever reason, today, I decided, you know what, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to figure this out 2 years later, even though I haven't touched it really since the original interview, and I worked on it for like a good 1 to 2 months trying to get the video version to work, even though the audio version was already out for the world to enjoy. I don't know what happened. It just worked, and I have no explanation for it. It just worked. So I don't know what to say, but I hope you enjoy the interview. I hope you enjoy the video version. This was back when we were trying to do video stuff, and technical issues kept getting in the way. But as you've seen on the channel, we've been doing a lot more video stuff, and everything's been going perfectly. So I thought, why not try that interview from 2 years ago with Valerie and see what happens. And surprisingly, everything worked. So please enjoy. If this is what you like to see, don't forget to subscribe, like it, comment, all that YouTube stuff you hear all the time. That got to do it here, if you want to see more of it. Yeah, that's all I got. Enjoy. Hey, it's Karrington with Real Dudes Podcast, and with me I have a very special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself and why you are here today?
Hey guys, my name is Valerie Rose Lohman, and you probably know me as Edith Finch from the Annapurna Interactive and Giant Sparrow game, What Remains of Edith Finch.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on the show today, Valerie.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's not a problem at all. Our co-host Kyle, Edith Finch was his favorite game, and I just want to give a quick shout out because he could not be here today. He wanted me to tell you that your acting, in particular, actually made him cry as well as the writing. So he just wanted to say, thank you so much for giving them those feelings and those emotions.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That for me has been the most impactful part of Edith Finch, is hearing what fans' reactions have been, and I don't know. I love hearing stuff like that. Not that I love hearing that everyone's crying, but
fair enough.
You know what I mean.
So Valerie, how long have you been acting?
I have been acting since I was 5, and then I started professionally acting. I was doing like stuff as a kid, like community theaters, school stuff, but professionally I started when I was 14.
Oh, very nice. So what made you want to make that jump from acting to professional acting?
I went to a performing arts high school, Orange County High School of the Arts. I'm a Orange County born and raised person. And just all of my friends, I went to school with Justice Smith, who a lot of people know from Paper Towns and the new Jurassic World movie. And I just was surrounded by people who were already working, and I've always been very, if someone else can do it, if I put my mind to it, I feel like I can do it. So I ended up leaving school after 10th grade because I was like, I'm going to just start working. And that's kind of what happened.
And it seems like things are working out so far.
So far, knock on wood, I
Yeah.
love it. I don't know what else I would do, but I'm gonna keep doing it.
Well, I hope it works out for you, and rather, it keeps working out for you. Rather,
There we go. Thank you.
you're very welcome. So, growing up, or even now, who would you say were huge inspirations for you? Your favorite actors or actresses growing up, or even now?
Okay, Bette Midler, particularly in Hocus Pocus,
Okay.
was probably Hocus Pocus was like my movie as a
Hmm.
child. A lot of comedians actually. I grew up watching I Love Lucy. My mom would show me reruns all the time as a kid. I really love Kate Blanchett. I love her work, and I'm a huge fan of Emma Stone. Um, just like women who bring to life amazing roles that are
Hmm.
multifaceted. Um, yeah, there's some of my biggest inspirations for sure.
Oh, very nice.
Audrey, I'm a huge Judy Garland fan. Huge, like huge.
So, Wizard of
So,
Oz fan, like big Wizard of Oz fan.
oh yeah, I played Dorothy. I played Dorothy when I was 15, and it was like the best.
Very nice. So why Wizard of Oz in Judy Garland?
You know, there's something I really love about her honesty, I guess.
Hmm.
I love the old films from the 30s and 40s, but what's interesting about me looking at her life is that she had such a crazy life and she had a really hard life, but
Hmm.
she managed to put out so much beauty and put out work that was just so like innocent and awe-inspiring and just kind of magical. I don't know, there's something about it that I've always really been drawn to.
Oh, fair enough. I can't blame you at all. I mean, I even grew up on Wizard of Oz. I think we all did, growing up.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can't go through life without watching Wizard of Oz. Like, it's like a sin.
No, I think I've met maybe one person who hasn't seen it in my life, and I'm like, what? Were you born on planet Earth? Like, iconic.
Exactly. Like between that and The Wiz are two movies I grew up for sure growing up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a rite of passage. Like,
Exactly. Like, you can't go through life without watching at least one of those movies.
no, the same thing with like Disney movies. Like people who are like, yeah, I don't watch Disney movies. I'm like, you didn't grow up, like you never saw like Cinderella or anything. I
They're
don't
not from
know.
planet Earth, obviously.
Obviously, we need to educate them. They're missing
Exactly.
out.
I agree. So, as an actor or actress rather, so you've done films, you've done Broadway, and you've done voiceover work. So, what would be, I guess, the biggest differences between all three of them, and do you have a preference between the three?
Well, I haven't done Broadway yet. I've
Okay.
been
Okay.
to New York, but
Okay.
I've done like a lot of big regional theater out here.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I make that difference is because when I do shows out here, they only run like 6 shows a week or 5 shows a week, and like Broadway's like 8 shows a week,
Gotcha.
which one
Gotcha.
day I will do.
You will
Um,
get there.
you know, I will get there. That's a huge goal of mine. The biggest difference, what's funny is that when you're doing voiceover, you're basically acting with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're standing in a booth solo, even when I've only ever worked with another actor in a session once, and it was because we were bickering siblings, so we needed to be on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting just you standing in a booth and you're there for like 4 hours, tiring out your vocal cords and just putting in everything you've got, just standing there in a blank room when you're standing there in your like jeans and a sweatshirt, feeling completely unglamorous. Um, and then it gets morphed into something that you don't quite know what it is, because that was my experience with Edith Finch.
Mm-hmm.
I had only seen a little bit of concept art when I was doing it, so I was kind of unaware of what my voice was going into. Whereas film I love because
Okay.
That's awesome.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I don't
yeah.
know what happened. Skype just decided to freeze on me. Just Skype.
No, you're totally fine.
All right, cool. It sounded like you were talking about how in voiceover work you're not sure like what direction they're gonna go and things like that because you just see so much of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. I've done a few different things where like you have a character sketch and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have no idea what it's going to look like. I did an animated series for the virtual reality company called Raising a Ruckus that I think it's still showing at the VR Center in Los Angeles. But when I voiced on it or recorded for it, I had seen like a couple character sketches and I had seen like a very rough cut of the first draft of it. But it was nothing compared to when I actually saw it with like the VR goggles on and you're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I'm so impressed with like talented people and like how they make things because I am not, I write a little bit and I like do those sort of things, but people who like create worlds and do amazing things with like computers and editing, like blow my mind.
Oh, for sure. I can do some like programming, but I can't do it on the scale that those guys can. Like it's incredible. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, it really is. It's so much hard work. It's amazing.
So like when going through the process for Edith Finch, how did you get involved with that project, and how did that process go for you from the time that you had possibly heard about it to the time you were hired on?
Well, I like to tell people that I like fell into this project.
Okay.
Like it has been like the most fortunate, like lucky thing that I think has like ever really happened to me. There's a site that like most actors use to submit on things. I don't know if you're an actor as well, but Actors Access. I use it, and then my agent uses a different version of it. Anyway, blah blah blah. So I see this breakdown come out, and I think I think it was already titled "What Remains of Edith Finch."
Okay.
I don't think it was untitled, but I submitted on it. I just sent them my picture and my resume and my voiceover reel. Then about a week later, I got an email. They sent me sides, and I just thought something. I like felt something in the pit of my stomach when I was working on that audition for them. I was recording it literally on my phone. And to soundproof it, I crawled underneath my comforter and like on my bed, and I like recorded like the little hermit.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You do. You gotta soundproof it, man. You can't have that echo.
Exactly.
Right. So yeah, I recorded it off, and something in me was like, this is a cool project. So I really gave it my all. I think I did one of the very first monologues when she's kind of talking about going back to the house. And then I think I did one of the pieces at the end. And I sent those off, and I was like, go into the universe and book me a job. And then I was sitting at Disneyland eating dinner one night, and I get an email saying like, hey, Valerie, this is the team from Edith Finch. We really loved your tape, and we wanted to know if you're available these days. And a lot of times when I get those emails a lot. They're avail emails, like, and it doesn't mean you got the job. It just means that you're like one of the few choices. So it was exciting, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. But I was still like, they're gonna go with someone else. It's probably not right. And then 2 weeks later, I think I was binge watching something at like 2 a.m. on Netflix, and I get an email saying like, hey, Valerie, we'd like really love to book you. And no one was awake, so I like freaked out, and I had like a little party in my room by myself at like 2 a.m.
Sometimes you gotta have those.
Exactly. I couldn't wake up my family. So yeah. And then when I signed on the project, I had no idea that it was already going to be released on PlayStation or Xbox. So I went into it thinking it was a tiny indie game, just like a small thing. And then I got there, and they're like, oh yeah, we're releasing on PlayStation in April. And that was very exciting.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I didn't know till I got to the recording studio either. So I got there, and they told me, and I was like, oh, okay. So,
So
yeah.
at that point, when you recorded to the time it was actually released, how much time went by before you actually got to see the results of your labor for that project?
Uh, it was actually really short. Um, usually voiceover things take like a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
But they were really far along, I guess, when I signed on. I had my first session in November of 2016. I think I had one 4-hour session. We got through the whole game. And then I had two more sessions, one in January, I believe, and then one in February of 2017.
Okay.
And then the game dropped in April or May. April or May, around there. So
Yeah.
it was like 2 to 3 months in between, which was so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason that I knew it was dropping so soon was because one night I was bored, like 2 months after I recorded,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I wonder if anything is out about this. And I Googled it, and lo and behold, the trailer with my voice had been dropped, and no one told me.
So what was that moment like when you saw that trailer, hearing your voice?
Well, I screamed, and it was amazing. It was the very first trailer. I don't know if you've seen the trailers, but
Mm-hmm.
it's the one where like it opens up at the end and it's like a doll's house.
Mm-hmm.
I promptly yelled to my parents and my brother and like my dog, and was like, come see. And then I couldn't tell anyone because when you sign on to these things, you have a lot of confidentiality agreements saying I will not talk about this project. So even though my voice was heard, it didn't have me credited on the video,
Yeah.
which is normal. So it wasn't until maybe a month later, when finally a press release came out saying that I was Edith,
Mm-hmm.
that I finally got to tell anybody. So I only got to tell I only told my parents and like my best friend.
Okay.
So that was very hard to like not talk about things.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So,
Yeah.
did you have the ability to play the game before it came out, or have you played it since it came out?
I played it. I purchased it. My best friend and I purchased it, and we played it. I think the day after it came out.
Okay.
And that was like the weirdest, trippiest, like Twilight Zone experience of my life, because I've watched myself in things plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
That it's normal at this point. But I have never like manipulated a video game whilst hearing myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also I understood most of the stories when I recorded.
Mm-hmm.
But there are certain ones, especially the ones that are more like Lewis's story. Like I knew like Lewis's story like ended in suicide, but
Mm-hmm.
I also was very confused as to like what the plot was, because I don't get all the lines.
Mm-hmm.
So the coolest part for me was seeing and letting everything click. Like, oh, the reason I talk about like Molly being hungry or whatever is because she like literally turns into like 5 monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So things like that was really just amazing to me.
So you've talked about being in animes before and doing voiceover work for an anime. So at this point, had you done an anime before, or was this your first like voiceovers acting gig?
I had done a couple.
Okay.
Again, voiceover is something I really fell into. I'm a singer by trade. I'm a singer and an actress by trade.
Okay.
So voiceover is something I've only been pursuing for the past 3 years now. And I really just kind of fell into it by pure luck. And I had booked I've done a couple anime pilots that are, I don't know if you can see them anywhere, but they're with
Okay.
a production company called William Winkler Productions. I know the company had some animes from Japan. They wanted to bring them to the US and dub them, and so I did a few pilots of like the first 3 or 4 episodes. Those things, I don't know if they're coming out or if I'm going to be on more of them. So I had done a few of those,
Okay.
and I had also the Raising a Ruckus that I
Mhm.
mentioned earlier. And that was the biggest thing. Rob Stromberg produced it, who, if anyone doesn't know who Rob Stromberg is, he was the director of the Angelina Jolie version of Maleficent for Disney.
Oh, okay.
So,
Awesome.
yeah, that's the virtual reality company is his production company.
Okay.
So I had voiced the lead in I think their very first animated project. I played one of two bickering twins who find a magical dog, which is great fun.
That
Um,
sounds like fun.
yeah, it's great. I voice a lot of kids. I voice a lot of like 11-year-olds. So I had a blast. And the coolest part of that one was that the guy who voiced my dog, he's the voice of the raccoon in Pocahontas.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and the voice and the animal voice for Elliot the dragon and Pete's dragon,
Mm-hmm.
the new one that
The
just
new
came
one.
out last year. So that was cool. I was starstruck by that for sure.
I could definitely see that. I probably would be too. So,
And yeah, so go ahead. Go ahead.
sorry. I was just gonna go back to Edith Finch real quick. So are you a gamer, and if so, what do you play? Or if not, I mean that's fine too.
I am ashamed.
Yeah.
I have just started. I know I need to like. I feel like I am now a part of this community, and I want to
Mhm.
be like a valuable member of this community. So I feel like I need to start playing more things. I
Okay.
just met one of these actresses from Life is Strange.
Yeah.
Day. Yeah, Day Hutton. We're now friends. So we were talking about her streaming my game, and
Mhm.
I'll be a guest on her streaming thing, and then we play her game and things like that. I mean, I grew up with like a PlayStation 2, so I played
Right.
like Crash Bandicoot and Tomb Raider, and I'm let's see, I'm really good at Mortal Kombat.
Oh, very nice.
But I'm like a button masher, which I know
Okay.
is bad, but
Hey, that's okay.
yeah.
That's how I do in those games too, because I can't really play them.
No, I like hit them and like hope and usually win.
Oh, yeah, I
But
mean that's sometimes that's how it goes for me too, but not always. So I'm glad it works out for you. So I noticed on your Instagram that you had met Todd Howard once. Could you talk about that and what that experience was
yes,
like?
it was really cool. I mean, I heard of his games before because my
Mhm.
best friend is a huge gamer.
Gotcha.
I got nominated for a voiceover award for the New York Video Game Critics' Choice Awards. So I flew to New York in January to go because why not?
Right. Why not?
Well, how often in one's life are you gonna get to like get nominated for an award and like fly to New York? So
Exactly.
you gotta do it. So yeah, he is so nice.
Yeah.
He was like the nicest man. I went up to him and I was like, because he got a Lifetime Achievement Award,
Hmm.
and I just went up to him and I was like, hi, like I know your work, like I'm like love what you do. I don't know if you know who I am, and I told him that I was in Edith Finch and one of the nominees,
Hmm.
and he was just like, oh my gosh, like I heard of your work, like it's so nice to meet you, and he was lovely, and he took a picture with me. He was a joy, and he gave a really great speech about like his work and loving what he does, and
Hmm.
it was lovely. He was great.
That
I want to work with him because he's such like an iconic game maker.
right.
So, Todd Howard, if you're listening, I want to work with you.
Oh, if he's listening, that will make my dream come true. But that's awesome,
There
and
you
I'm
go.
actually really jealous that you got to meet him.
He was awesome. I hope you get to meet him one day.
Oh, thank you. I hope it happens one of these days. So we've talked a lot about Disney. Like I feel like we can call you a Disney nerd at this point.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite animated Disney movie?
Oh gosh. I'm a big. Okay, when I was a kid, Sleeping Beauty was my favorite.
Okay.
I am a princess. I have so many crowns in my room. Like
Mhm.
I have a lot of crowns. I don't know. I love all the classic princess movies. I really love
Okay.
Snow White. I really love Sleeping Beauty. I love The Little Mermaid. I think The Little Mermaid's one of my favorites, but and I'm one of those people that has not been jaded yet by Frozen. I agree, Let It Go can be a little overdone, but
Yeah.
I think the design of that film is so beautiful.
Yeah, I agree.
It's magical.
I
Like the
just
way
saw it
that
for the
it's
first time in December, I think. I don't know how I missed that whole thing. But then, like, when I watched it, I'm like, this movie is like nothing what I even expected it to be. So I was very surprised by the film.
good. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you like 4 years,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I don't know how that
Right.
happened.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you.
And I
Yeah,
love
I saw
Disney
it
stuff,
twice.
so I wasn't like put off by it or anything, because I love Disney movies. I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so Frozen, and I love Tangled. I think it's adorable. I haven't seen Coco yet, and it's like driving me nuts. I haven't had a day to like. I don't even know if it's still in theaters anywhere, but I want to go see it in like a theater.
Right?
Um,
I haven't seen it either, but I know my
okay.
sister listens to the show. She's gonna be very happy that you mentioned Tangled.
Oh, is she a big Tangled person?
Oh yes, she watches it probably still. Like she's married, lives on her own with her husband. I think she still watches it every day.
Good for her. That's awesome. I mean, you can't like. I just think like Mandy Moore is like the cutest Rapunzel, and I don't know. Everyone's adorable.
Agreed. And Zachary Levi is
Oh
amazing.
yeah,
He's amazing.
like Flynn Rider, iconic.
Thank you.
Of
So
course, yeah, he's amazing.
yeah, yeah, no problem. Yeah, exactly. And the fact that he does the voiceover work and his singing voice, I think also like speaks volumes for him.
I haven't watched the animated series yet, but I've had a few friends watch it, and they're like, "Oh, it's amazing. Go watch it."
Oh, I didn't know there was an
So
animated series. That's new to
it's,
me.
I think, Disney Junior.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
I think it's for like 5-year-olds, but I will be a 5-year-old and watch it. So
There's nothing wrong with that.
no,
So also being a Disney person, does that mean you're also now a Star Wars fan and a Marvel fan?
more of a Star Wars fan.
Okay, okay.
I do enjoy the Marvel films,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like I haven't watched them all, so therefore I do not know all of their mythos.
Right, right,
However,
okay.
I freaking love me some Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. I think they should make a Spider-Gwen movie,
They
but
should,
that's
they
just me.
should.
But yes, I don't know if you can see my Porg in
Oh,
the
I can see the
background.
Porg. Another reason for the question, because I did see the Porg.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. Now, okay, let me ask you, do you
Okay.
like Porgs? Are
Kind of,
you a
sort
Porg
of.
fan?
I mean, I don't hate them.
Okay.
I don't hate them.
Okay, good. Good, then we can be friends.
Okay, sweet.
I'll tell you what made me love Porgs most.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, this is a complete tangent, but initially when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh my gosh, what is this thing created to sell toys? And then I read an interview with Ryan Johnson,
Hmm.
and apparently where they film Luke's Island is a puffin sanctuary. So the island is covered in puffins. So they couldn't, obviously, puffins don't exist in Star Wars.
Right.
So they created porgs to put over the puffins in all the shots. So I love them.
Fair
Like
enough.
it.
I heard that in the same interview too, and I'm like, that's why I couldn't hate them. I'm like, I can't hate them now because
Right?
I thought the same thing. Like, oh, these are just created to just sell toys to kids and stuff. And it's like, well, I can't really actually hate them now because they're actually kind of cool because they're puffins, alien puffins essentially.
Yes. Yes. So yes, I am a Star Wars person. I love the new where the new trilogy is going. I love Rey. I'm gonna say some sacrilege here. I've seen obviously the original trilogy, but I haven't seen the entirety of the prequels because I
Okay.
fell asleep when Jar Jar Binks was talking because he irritated me so much.
No, that's
And
not
I'm just
sacrilege. That is perfectly fine.
good. I couldn't. Everyone was like, "Oh, like Jar Jar Binks is so annoying," and I was like, "There's no way that a movie character can be that irritating." Then I watched it.
Yeah, yeah, it's possible, unfortunately.
It is possible. Oh yeah.
Awesome, very awesome. So, do you have a favorite Disney song then? Let's keep you on the Disney theme.
Second Star to the Right from Peter Pan. That's
Oh, very
actually
nice.
that's my answer to the movie question. Peter Pan.
Okay.
Absolutely. Down.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that's awesome. Like I don't even know where to go from there. Like that's a great song, great movie. I mean, if you haven't seen it at this
Iconic.
point, it's totally iconic. Like just the whole Peter Pan franchise, and I mean, even not just Peter Pan, but Hook also with Robin Williams is also
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yes. And an underappreciated version that not everyone has seen, but there is I don't know what studio it is.
Okay.
I want to say it's Fox or Universal or something like that. They did a live action version in 2003
Yes.
that you've seen it?
Oh yeah, of course,
Yes.
because the trailer had Clocks by Coldplay in it. I'm like, I have to go see this movie. Like, my whole family went and saw the movie, and we loved it. We loved it.
Yeah. That's like the best. That's like I have Peter Pan syndrome. I'm pretty positive. Like that's like my favorite movie. Like I can't watch it that often because I like promptly burst into tears because I'm a giant baby.
Okay.
But I love that film.
There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
No, you gotta stay a kid at heart, right?
Exactly. Like, there's still a few films. Like, if I watch, oh gosh, Inside. Not Inside. Oh my gosh. It's a Disney movie. Pixar.
Inside Out.
Inside Out. Yes, thank you. If I watch Inside, I've only seen it twice. But there's a reason for it, and it's because if I watch it, I will cry.
Oh yeah, I watched it on my 18th birthday with my mom, and I cried. Bing Bong is like really sad.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I remember watching it in the theater with a couple friends. We were all like in tears on that scene. I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not alone.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I cried during Finding Dory too.
I have not seen Finding Dory yet.
Baby Dory is the cutest thing. Like I don't know how they created it. Like they must have like created a machine and put like sugar, spice, and everything nice inside it because Baby Dory is like the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It is on my list. Like I have it in my Netflix queue, and I will take your word for it. I will watch it sometime soon. Like between that and Cars 3, there's only 2 Pixar movies I haven't seen yet.
Okay, Coco being one of those.
Actually, Coco is on the list too. I haven't seen Coco yet. So 3.
I haven't seen Cars 3 either yet, so there you go.
There we go.
I heard it's great.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. But for some reason, I just haven't had the time yet.
I didn't watch the second one, so I feel like I'm missing a gap. So
Likewise. So I meant to ask this before, and I forgot. So if you could play anyone or anything, what is your like dream role?
oh gosh,
Or anyone,
You
like
know-
maybe like it's some biopic for some like one of your idols. It could be anything.
I have one right now
Okay.
that I'm like I've been like emailing my agents aggressively because Renee Zellweger is playing Judy Garland in a Judy Garland biopic.
Oh,
And-
really nice.
I would die to play like Judy circa Wizard of Oz, like teenage version. So something like that for sure. And then I'd love to personally, like in terms of like genre to work in, I would love to do like a Peter Pan-esque film or like a TV show like Once Upon a Time. Anything like fantastical that's like filled with hope and like awesomeness. Or Star Wars.
Oh yeah, or your Star
Like-
Wars, yeah.
If like JJ Abrams wants to call me up and like put me in Star Wars, I won't deny it.
All right, you can't say no if you're in a Star Wars movie.
No, like that'd be awful.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like there are even actors and actresses that get the call and like we can't turn it down. You know, you just can't turn it down.
No. You know, I have a friend who he's an older gentleman and he went to college, I guess, with Mark Hamill.
What?
And he told me that because he went to Los Angeles City College with him
Okay.
in that department. And he told me, he's like, yeah, like, because my friend, he did a lot of episodes of like Happy Days and like, what did he do? Happy Days? He did like Laverne and Shirley and like Partridge Family and a lot of stuff like that. And he went in for one session that he like didn't really care about. He thought it was like dumb, and the session was for Star Wars, for A New Hope, for Luke,
Oh
and
gosh.
for Harry. Like he auditioned for both, like at the same time,
Okay.
like the original Henry. So and like he thought it was like the both of them were like super dumb or something like that, and then turns out like two of like the biggest hits of like all time.
Yeah, just a little bit. You know, this is a little movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that affects all of our lives. No big deal.
Right, right. I just like rewrote like cinema history. Like that's
Yeah,
fine.
exactly. No big deal.
Yeah.
So outside of acting, what are your like favorite things to do? What are your hobbies and things like that?
You know, I do a lot of Disney related things, like go to Disneyland and watch Disney movies. I'm joking. I feel like such a homebody. I go to the movies a lot. I love watching movies. I'm a huge book nerd. I've been like a book obsessive person since I was really small. I had about 400 books in my library, but I needed to downsize, and that was the most painful thing.
Oh no, you can't downsize.
I know. I gave a lot of them to my mom, who has uh like a second house. So
Okay.
like, Mom, take these. Like, take my classics because I can't give them away. They're all hardbound and beautiful. So she took some of those, and then I donated a lot to like I donated some to a charity. And I have downsized to about 150 books.
Ooh,
so
that
if you can
hurts.
call that downsizing, it is painful. It is painful. So yeah, and then I write. I'm foraying back into writing. I've written a couple short films that were awful when I was younger. So I'm starting to get back into that.
Hey, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, you do. You do. So I'm working on something right now that I've been sitting on for a while, so we'll see where it goes.
Very nice.
And then other than that, I'm a singer, so half the time I just turn on my music and sing and dance and act like a dork. So all sorts of things.
No, there's nothing wrong with that either. I mean, we all do it. And if you say you don't,
Exactly.
you are a liar.
Oh yeah, you're just trying to be cool.
Exactly, yeah. So you say you like to go to the movies. So are there any films recently that have like stood out to you? Let's say within the past
I
6
just
months or so.
Okay. I just saw Gringo, which I thought was incredible.
Okay.
It's produced by Charlize Theron. I went in thinking it was going to be more of like a dumb comedy. I was really, really surprised by it because it was very, I wouldn't even know how to describe it. I thought it was kind of like a dark comedy, but also like, it was, I don't know. I can't describe it necessarily, but I just saw it 2 days ago. It was beautifully done.
Okay.
Like it was entertaining. I loved it. Oh gosh, what else have I seen? I go all the time.
I know the problem. I feel the same way.
Yeah. I saw another Charlize Theron movie. Atomic Blonde. I saw in the last 6 or 9 months. Favorite movie of 2017. Oh, I know what I just saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I just think like she's like the badass James Bond of women that like we've all needed, and she's like incredible. I just saw Flower with Zoe Deutsch. It's this great little indie movie.
Okay.
That is hitting theaters next week, and it was amazing. I got to see it and then have a Q&A session with Zoe Deutsch and the director afterwards. So that was cool. And then Thoroughbreds, which I don't know. Do you know anything about Thoroughbreds? It just started playing in theaters.
I don't. It's about horses, I assume.
Okay, you'd think that.
Okay.
It's about like these two rich girls and like.
Oh, I remember seeing the trailers for that.
Yes, and they try to kill her stepdad.
Yes. Was it good?
It was like insane. It reminded me a lot of like Heather's. Which is what the trailer was saying too. It's like weird. It's really good. It's an experience for sure.
Okay.
And it twists you around a lot. It twists you around so you don't quite know where it's going, and then the end is like, holy cow. So that has been my favorite movie of this year so far.
Okay.
Thoroughbreds. Go see it.
I will go see it.
Yes.
See, I don't think I have a favorite movie this year just yet, so I haven't had a whole lot of time to go to movies. But usually I go all the time.
Yeah. Have you seen anything recently that you've liked though?
I'm trying to think. I don't think so. Not yet. I know my favorite film of 2017 was probably Dunkirk because my brother's a huge World War II fan, and he was like, Carrington, this movie's gonna be amazing. I'm like, okay. So then me, my brother, and my dad went, and I'm like, okay, that is easily my favorite movie of 2017. Like, it was hard to beat that. Well, I mean, Beauty and the Beast came out last year too, which was amazing and fantastic. Emma Thompson was fantastic. Everyone did great in their roles. But like Dunkirk to me it was a beautifully made film.
That is the only Oscar I completely feel like a dork. I completely forgot about all the Oscar films because yes, there's some freaking amazing ones in there. Dunkirk, I think Dunkirk and Phantom Thread were the only two I don't think I saw. Which I've heard. I want to see Dunkirk, so you highly recommend that.
Oh, I highly recommend it. Like, it's
okay.
I can't recommend it enough. Mm-hmm. Just after we end the interview, like that's got to be on the top of your list because actually I just bought it on Blu-ray, so that's probably what I'll do after we're done is probably break it open and start watching it.
There you go. I mean, there's a reason that it won so many awards at the Oscars the other night. So.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Did you see Shape of Water?
I haven't, but I know I really wanted to because I love Guillermo del Toro, like his movies. They're usually really, especially like Pacific Rim, and I'm excited. Even though he's not really attached to Pacific Rim 2, I'm excited for Pacific Rim 2, but I'm really mad I missed Shape of Water.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I saw Pan's Labyrinth when I was 11, and it was my first R movie that I went out and purchased by myself, so I'm a Del Toro fan. It's beautiful. It's like the perfect fairy tale, but also social commentary of the time. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It weaves everything in seamlessly in a very beautiful love story. And I'm a big fan of Doug Jones, who plays the monster. So yeah, I don't want to spoil anything for you. Okay. Just watch it. You'll like it.
All right. And I just recently heard that name, Doug Jones. Like, he's in like a lot of movies, but you just never really see his face.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very surprised about that.
Yeah, he works all the time. Like, he's in Hocus Pocus, which was my first introduction to him. He's Billy the Zombie.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's him. And you've seen Pan's Labyrinth, right?
I haven't actually.
Oh,
not yet. It's on my list. I mean, I know I love Guillermo del Toro, but it is definitely like at the top of my list out of his movies that I have not seen yet.
It is a magical film. Doug Jones plays two roles in it. He plays the fawn and the pale man. And you're not going to know who the pale man is until you see the pale man on the screen and you go, "Oh crap, that's who that is."
Okay.
It's terrifying.
I can't wait to see it because like now I'm pumped to like see a bunch of movies you were recommending that I haven't seen yet.
I know. I'm excited to see Dunkirk now. Cool.
It's good. Oh, it's so good. And like even for a little while, I know when it first came out, it did its initial run back in the summer. You could see it in like a film. It wasn't digital, like an actual film. And like the sound was so good in the theater. Like there were parts that scared me and like gave chills just on the sound alone. The sound is fantastic in that movie.
I had heard something from the composer that he used like maybe you heard this about how he used like ticking clocks to like drive the suspense in how he composed.
It's beautifully done. The sound and the music, it's beautifully done. And the way things weave together, it's just good. It is so good. I can't speak highly enough about it. There's a reason why it's my favorite film of 2017.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch it. I love a good World War II drama. So
I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Cool. Okay. Cool. I'm excited to watch it.
Awesome. Okay, so this is kind of like my last question. Do you have any future projects that you want to shout out real quick or mention by any chance?
I have a couple. I
Yeah.
have a couple things hitting the blah, 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 the film festival circuit right now.
Okay.
I don't know where these things are going to be showing next,
Okay.
but if anyone follows me on Instagram or Twitter, then I'm going to be keeping everyone updated. I have 2 films currently hitting festivals. One is called Intrepid, and if you like Harry Potter, you will like Intrepid because I play this sassy, like socially awkward teenage witch who's just like trying to like ace her classes. And I actually just got my director just literally yesterday sent me in the mail a DVD version of it, like in a box.
Oh, nice.
And that's an amazing experience. It's a short film, so we're hoping like it gets distribution at some point or like gets picked up somewhere. But it's the first time that I've had like a DVD of something, so that's really cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was very exciting. I still have to call her and thank her about that. And then I have a film called On Guard that's like another short that's hitting the festivals, and it's like a fencing film, but it's like kind of like a Disney Channel original movie style.
Okay.
It's very funny. I play this very weird girl who's obsessed with The Princess Bride.
My sister's one of those people also.
Good. She'll identify. She'll identify.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then I have one where I called Dojo Girl that's going to be hitting festivals in the next 6 months, I believe, where I play a really bitchy, like racist cheerleader.
Okay.
Which is awful. I had the hardest time filming that. I had to like hug the girl that I was like verbally abusing every time between takes. I was like, I'm so sorry.
Aww.
Every time. And then I'm currently, I shot a film in December called She Comes in Colors Everywhere. And I just found out that we have to do some reshoots. So I'm not actually usually a redhead.
Okay.
Your people can't see me, so I have red hair right now. But because I'm like an eccentric painter, so I'm going to be reshooting some scenes starting Monday. So
Very
just
nice.
lots of things in the works, lots of things coming out, a couple things early in development that I'm like talking about doing. So tons of things and tons of stages.
Well, I hope we all get the chance to see them sometime soon.
I hope so too. I love sharing it, and I love that has been. I just have to say that's been like the coolest part. Like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, like this is my first time having fans, if you will, or people who've like cared about my work in an important way. So it's been a huge learning experience over the past year, and it's been really exciting to me because, I mean, like I like to think I work a lot, and I like to hope that I do like impactful work. But like Edith Finch has been the one where people have like come up to me and been like, you helped me through a hard time, or things like that, like this story. So I don't know. I don't know what I was going with the tangent I was going on here, but
it's all good.
It's been an amazing year, and I feel just like incredibly grateful for it. And I feel incredibly grateful to like that people like are excited to see the next thing, because I'm excited to like share the next thing. And like,
right?
I love working. I love creating stuff. So yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing future projects and looking up past projects as well.
Thank you very much.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome. And I just remembered my favorite film of 2018 so far is probably Black Panther, because my dad listens to the show, and I know he'll be very upset if I don't say Black Panther.
I have to see it.
You haven't
I've
seen
heard
it yet?
such good things.
Oh,
No, I haven't.
It is easily my favorite Marvel film right now.
Okay. You know, I tried to see it opening week, but every theater was sold out.
Yeah, that was the problem we had also. Like, I saw it opening night, but then after that it was like, it's still hard to get tickets for it.
Okay. Yeah, I have to see it. I've heard nothing but like beautiful things. It looks so good.
It's really good. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like go off on be completely different.
Please.
It just popped into my head.
We have to talk about good art here. Like That's important.
Thank you. So one last thing. For everyone listening, where can they find you and learn more about you and keep up with you?
Okay, you can follow me a myriad of places. I am on Twitter. My handle is @Valerie Lohman. on Instagram, I am at Valerie Rose Lohman, because that's my middle name.
Okay.
You can also find my website, which is www.valerieroselohman.com. And then I'm also on YouTube. I have just started a channel where I'm starting to vlog. So I'm actually going to be at WonderCon. So I'm going to be releasing my next vlog announcing that like tomorrow.
Oh, very nice.
And I believe my channel name is just Valerie Lohman. If you me. So I'm easy to find. I'm Googleable.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for being on the show, Valerie, and hope to have you on again, hopefully maybe sometime soon in the future.
Yes, I hope so. This is a blast. This is like my favorite interview. This is really cool.
Oh, thank you very much. It was really cool. You are actually our first female on the show, also our first actress on the show so far.
I feel honored. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks. Cool beans.
No problem. And everyone out there, as always, have a rad day.